Given the growing threat of Russian hybrid actions, we are interested in deepening the Polish-British cooperation in fighting disinformation. We discussed the assassination attempt in Salisbury. I would like to express the Polish government's solidarity and support for our close ally. We discussed further steps to be taken against this action. We have to look at the behavior of Russia in the longer perspective, and we are ready to take part in mobilizing our friends within the European Union and in NATO to do something and to protest against this unlawful act.
We're going to go to CNN, I believe. CNN, yes.
Poland is gravely concerned by information of the use of nerve agent in the attempt to murder Mr. Sergei Skripal and his daughter, Mrs. Julia Skripal, which endangered the lives of innocent civilians. We condemned this unprecedented attack by Russia on the territory of the United Kingdom. This use of chemical weapons is clearly violating the international law and the provisions of the Convention on the Prohibition of Chemical Weapons. We express our full solidarity with the British people and the British government, as well as our readiness to support our close ally and European partner in conduct of the investigation. Poland expresses its strong conviction that those responsible for the use of chemical weapons must be held accountable.
Just about the investigation, there is a report this morning that the nerve agent was...
I can tell you that what we are doing, you'll have heard a bit of sort of disinformation being put up by the Russians about the OPCW and the Chemical Weapons Treaty. What we've done is fully in line with that treaty. Under Article 9, as you know, we summoned the Russian ambassador. I summoned the Russian ambassador on the 12th of March to explain the situation. We invited the Russians to clarify how it happened that Novichok seemed to be used on the streets of this country. Had some gone missing from their stocks? Was there an alternative explanation from the possibility, of course, that the Russians themselves had directed the use of Novichok in a state-sponsored assassination attempt? No meaningful answer was forthcoming, so we've taken the steps that we have. And we're now, as you know, cooperating with OPCW technical officers to make sure that they're able to look at the samples, and work is being done on that right now.
Salisbury came from Russia. And a second question, if I may, how helpful were the comments of the Defence Secretary yesterday along the lines of go away? And
yes, obviously we must beware of what Vladimir Putin's Russia is doing. But I want to stress one thing again, that the quarrel of the UK government is not with Russian people. It is not with Russians living here in this country. It is not with people who've come to the UK to make their lives and contribute to our country. We have nothing against the Russians themselves. There is to be no Russophobia as a result of what is happening. Our quarrel is with Putin's Kremlin and with his decision. And we think it overwhelmingly likely that it was his decision to direct the use of a nerve agent on the streets of the UK, on the streets of Europe, for the first time since the Second World War. That is why we're at odds with Russia.
As far as our assessment of the situation, we are sure that it is Russian state which is involved in this attempt. We discussed this issue, taking into consideration all circumstances and the weapons which was used. It is certain Poland has a long history with dealing with Russia, and particularly with the regime of Vladimir Putin. We have many issues. Our relations are quite difficult at that time because we do not accept aggressive policy of Russia. And this is an example, yet another example of this aggressive policy.